Don't look at me.
Don't look at me.
Welcome to the Rowdy.com Big Three, the three burning issues in NASCAR, Kentucky racing.
Don't look at me.
Today, I'm Buck Fever, he's Buzz Cutler. What's the question?
Can you ever just introduce the video without giving away the topics in advance?
Kentucky Kasey Kahne?
Exactly.
Hair gel?
We're not talking about Kasey Kahne. We are talking about Kentucky Speedway. The big announcement came down yesterday. Bruton Smith let everybody know that next season there will be a night race at Kentucky Speedway. Cup racing comes to Kentucky. Are you excited, Buck?
No. And I don't know what's wrong with me. I mean, great for Kentucky, great for that area. I'm excited. What this tells me more than anything, and I take a step back, is NASCAR, if you don't sell out a race, you're going to lose a date. Darlington started not selling it out, they lost a race. Atlanta started not selling it out, they lost a race. California started not selling it out, they lost a race. God, I hope that Kentucky sells it out. And from what I understand, those race fans are starved there, and they love it there, and it's going to be a big, big deal. So I'm excited for them. I don't think it's the greatest thing since sliced bread or Joey Logano, but it's a good thing for Kentucky.
Clearly it's not going to be a better racing than Atlanta.
I know.
But let's also remember that NASCAR didn't initiate this change. Bruton Smith and Speedway Motorsports did. They're the ones who wanted this to happen. They are the ones who made the decision to drop Atlanta in favor of Kentucky. It wasn't NASCAR.
Fair enough.
It was SMI. And so you got to think, yeah, they see this as an opportunity to break into a bigger, not a bigger market, a different market, and make some more money.
But I don't understand. I don't understand how you make more money going to Kentucky, putting $100 million into that track, and then taking a race away from Atlanta. I don't get the math.
You got to balance ticket revenue versus sponsorship versus all those things. You know, they're already got truck races and nationwide races at Kentucky, so they bundle the different events together, force people to buy tickets to all three. There's all sorts of permutations that we don't know, we're not involved in. But look, if this is what Bruton wants, we all know that Bruton gets.
Yeah. He wants an airport nearby. Guess what? That's happening.
Yeah, of course he's going to get his airport nearby. All right, let's move on to issue number 2. Big announcement, another one that was not a greatly kept secret. Paul Menard, 4th car at Richard Childress Racing.
Yes, indeed.
With him goes that Menard's sponsorship. Reportedly, it's a multi-year deal.
Yeah, and Paul Menard is looking better. He's had a good season. It's a good sponsorship, and it's great for Richard Childress because Richard Childress gets another data acquisition system, what we call drivers. You want to have as many teams as you can possibly have so you can get more data, and Paul Menard provides that for Richard Childress.
It's not as good, however, for Richard Petty Motorsports because now if you look at who Richard Petty Motorsports has for 2011, right now the only one he definitely has is A.J. Allmendinger, and even if the rumored Marcus Ambrose to the 9-car deal comes to fruition, who does he have then? He has Marcus Ambrose and A.J. Allmendinger, 2 guys with potential, 2 guys with talent, 2 guys that are up-and-comers. He's lost a proven winner, a guy who we know we can compete in Kasey Kahne. Yeah. He needs to replace that guy. I don't see how he's going to do it.
No, he's lost a proven winner and a sponsor, so I don't know what he's going to do. It looks rough at Richard Petty
Right now, it looks like Richard Petty Motorsports is going to be worse off in 2011 than they have been in 2010.
Which is bad.
Speaking of worse off, last week, we said, I think you said, I know Bass and I were of a like mind, that the top 12 at that point was the top 12 you were going to get come the chase. All of a sudden, presto changeo, we see Mark Martin supplant Clint Bowyer in the top 12, and now he's got a 10-point margin. Which of those 2 guys do you think is going to be in the chase come New Hampshire?
I don't know. That's a good question because on the case of Clint Bowyer, you've got those Earnhardt Ganassi engines that are so good. On the case of Mark Martin, you have a proven veteran who knows how to scrape, struggle, and win. I'm going to go with Mark Martin. I'm going to go with Mark.
All right, and you meant Earnhardt Childress Racing engines, right?
Yeah.
Well, you know, Mark Martin certainly has the veteran savvy, the experience, and you got to think maybe even has perhaps a jump at Atlanta and Michigan. He won at Michigan as recently as last season. Clint Bowyer has the better engines and has a better performing team this season. And I'm going to give him the nod at Bristol and Richmond, right?
Okay.
I think he might get a jump on Mark Martin
good point.
at Richmond.
Right.
Now, so here, Richmond being the last race before the chase, I think that gives Clint Bowyer a little bit more of an advantage.
So Clint becomes Jeremy Mayfield.
Jeremy Mayfield or Brian Vickers.
Yeah,
well, plus, Richard Childress Racing is just running better. And remember that the reason Clint Bowyer got bumped out of the top 12 was more because of him having a bad day than Mark Martin having a good day. So I'm going to go with Clint Bowyer. You're going with Mark Martin.
I go with Mark Martin. You go with Clint Bowyer. And we are out of here, race fans.
Let's just hope Ryan Newman doesn't pass them both.
Rowdy.com. Say it like it is.
Say what like it is?
Rowdy.com.